Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Shout out to all of you wonderful deep divers. Another beautiful day. I woke up like this, all magical and fly. In the gold room, no deep divers, we're in the purple room and we're raising the frequency. Look, what happens when you die? What happens after you die? This is a fascinating question, which I'm sure goes through the minds of so many people. Like, what is going to happen to me, Ralph, after I die? What is going to happen when I die? This question has been on the minds of philosophers, scientists, everyday people since the dawn of time. And it is a fundamental question to ask. The reason why is because there is life and then there is death. Two sides of the same coin. It's a process. It's called the life process. And a lot of people, if you ask them, what is your greatest fear? They're going to tell you, death. And that's the reason why we really have to dive into this topic, because so many people are afraid of talking about death. But infinite waters doesn't die. We only multiply. Even the cat down the road over there, deep divers, only multiplies, right? We can never die. But we have to remind ourselves that there is so much to learn about this whole process. The information that I'm about to share with you is really going to rock you out of your chair. Hit that like button right now if you support the real. Share this video, subscribe. Hit that like button right now if you support the real. Share this video, subscribe, because someone asked me on the Instagram at official Ralph Smart, please do a video about what happens when we die. Ralph, it's been on my mind, and I'm sure it's on the mind of 8 billion people. Yes, it is. Are you ready to dive deep, deep divers? I thought so. Let's go. Let's breathe, deep divers. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's go. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Raising the frequency. Raising the vibration. Take that, take that, take that. Good ass energy I'm sending you. Look, deep divers, if you are watching this video, this is your confirmation. You are about to be celebrating something monumental soon. Don't give up. Keep looking forward, because it's going to get better for you, brighter for you, and a path is going to be made for you. If you're ready, just say thank you. Now, what happens when you die? We're going to talk about this very important question, because someone asked me this, and I've got so much to share with you, deep divers. So much to share with you, giving you like a whole range of different perspectives, okay? Now, why is this important first and foremost? Who cares, Ralph? Well, it's got everything to do with your current life right now. How you're living life. It's predicated upon how you feel you're going to be after you're no longer here. It's predicated upon who you feel you're going to become when you no longer are existing as your current self. And that's the reason why when you remind yourself, you got to expand your mind to realize there is hidden information that certain people don't want you to know. And I took a deep dive into really finding out what happens when you die. I've also had out-of-body experiences, all of that. So we're going to dive into all of that, deep divers, because I'm a deep diver. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? So let's jump straight into it, deep divers. What happens when you die? Okay, so Even in ancient Egypt, they talked about how we have the Kaaba, the spirit, the soul. They leave the body and they travel to another realm, another dimension. In all ancient texts, they talk about how the human being has a soul, has a spirit, and when they pass away, that spirit goes somewhere else. And we can often see this depicted in films, in books, in our whole society, that's why we say someone passes away. It's almost as if we're talking about how their spirit and soul leaves their body. Now, the reason why you can find these truths about the human body being occupied by a spirit, and that moment you transition. You see, the ancients used to say a transition because they believed, nerd, no one ever really dies. No one ever really dies, deep divers. You know why? Because energy can never be destroyed, only transferred. What? Slow motion this side. So they realize that we are constantly transitioning. And this life is not permanent, nor is our body. But our soul, our spirit, is eternal and it is immortal. That's why I told you the cat down the road has more than 9 lives, deep divers. What happens when we die? So the spirit and the soul leaves the body. That primordial part of yourself leaves the body and it ascends up and out. It's hard for people to comprehend this. The reason why is because in the Matrix, you are taught that you are only your body, that you don't have a spirit, that you don't have a soul. But once you remind yourself you're a spiritual being having a human experience, it all begins to make sense. Now, what happens when you die? Marcus Aurelius said, what we do now echoes on into eternity. I love that. And that's the whole concept. How you live right now is going to travel with you to the next life or wherever you're going to go. So if you've done a lot of bad deeds and you're full of hatred, that energy is going to stay with you. It's going to travel with you. And that's the reason why a lot of people who entertain negativity, hatred, all of the lower forces are going to move with you to the afterlife. You can't run. You can't escape. It's going to follow you. And that's the reason why in all traditions, even religious or spiritual traditions, they talk about what we do now echoes on into eternity. You start off from where you left off. Life is a continuous cycle. It's a continuous process. So what happens when you are no longer here? You are still here, just having a different shape and form. Because we are truly immortal. When you remind yourself, the energy inside of us is as old as time itself. It's older than time. It's as old as the universe itself. It is immortal. But this person, Jane Doe, Patrick Brown, that identity you've constructed in the Matrix is dying and it's never going to return. What happens when you die? You lose the personal identity. You lose the personal identity. You lose your personal identity. The name, your bank account, your cars, all of that disappears. And the reason why is because it's all an illusion. It's not who you really are. When you die or when you transition, you now become the true I am, the greater I am. You wake up to the truth. My grandma, deep divers, used to say, My grandma used to say, this is the lie world. When people pass away, they go to the true world, right? In other words, we are living in the Maya. And when you transition, when you pass away, you actually enter the real world, the spirit world, which is the real world. What happens, deep divers, when you die? A lot of people are now starting to realize we are multidimensional beings having a human experience. And this is amazing. This is so amazing. Because when you remind yourself that we are multidimensional, do you believe in a parallel universe? I do. We're traveling through time and space, deep divers, and it's fascinating. Bill Hicks said it's just a ride. I agree. It's just a ride. And once you transition to somewhere else, you go on another ride. It doesn't stop. Deep divers, it doesn't stop. You just keep going on different rides. And it's fascinating. You know, I use the analogy of traveling to another dimension, going through a portal. That's what happens when you die. You travel through a portal, through a wormhole, and you end up somewhere. Where else? Well, wait a second, deep divers, let me get to it. A lot of people don't even realize we're not all from the same place. Because this universe is gigantic, and some souls are coming back to learn certain lessons. Some people, once they pass away, they become an archangel. They become a guardian angel. Some people come back, some people don't. Some people ascend to the heavens. They resurrect. They go through the rebirth. What happens when you die? Now, when you remind yourself, deep divers, nature, Gaia, is the greatest recycler ever. It is always recycling. Gaia is always recycling. Never waste anything. And it's definitely not going to waste your body. It's going to use your body to create plants, leaves, trees, birds, bees. Oh my gosh. There's no place I'd rather be. Deep divers, you will go back into the soil and you will create the leaves, trees, and be a part of the birds and the bees. This is what happens when you die. Everything about you is recycled back into the universe. It's fascinating. The Native Americans knew this. In Africa, they knew this. And that's why they had their ancestors. They could communicate with people who have passed away for guidance, for counsel, because they were now watching over them. What happens when you die? Deep divers. You know, I use this analogy that the eye, if you look at it closely, it's like a galaxy. It's got nebulas and all kind of things, and it's like the whole cosmos, right? We actually go back to the cosmos. This is what happens when you die. You go back to the stardust that you actually are. And it's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. You see, people have become afraid of death because they're afraid of life. The ancients knew that there is no such thing as death. There is only life. Show me something that's dead, deep divers, and I'll show you that no, nature has become the alchemist and transformed it into life. Stop it, Ralph. You're diving too deep. It's too much for people. They're loving it. Slow motion. So there is no death. There is only transformation. There is only regeneration. There is only rebirth. There is only energy that can never be destroyed, only transferred. The question is, where are you going to go? And that's going to be based on your own energy, based on the life you've been living. If you've cultivated good energy, you will go to a positive place. If you've cultivated lower vibrational energy, once again, you'll be eaten alive in the astral world. And you'll be eaten alive in the astral world, and that's where concepts like hell come from. These are just states of mind. right? It's just states of mind. So what happens when you die? Reincarnation. 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 You hear about reincarnation in all ancient texts, religious texts, spiritual texts. They talk about how we are constantly re-entering the life cycle. And you might sometimes wake up, deep dive, and say, oh my gosh, I'm back here again. Yes, you are. Congratulations. Because a lot of people find out that actually I'm an old soul. I've been here before. You might even have a deja vu moment. You're like, oh my gosh, it feels so familiar. This whole place, I've been here. Happens to me all the time. I know I've lived so many lives, deep divers, and I'll be coming back, but I can choose not to. Some people choose not to come back. They become ascended masters who just look over you. Some people come back to help humanity. And some people reincarnate to learn certain lessons. Sometimes you look at a baby and you're like, oh my gosh, that's an old soul. That's an old soul coming back. So what happens when we die? Once again, there is no such thing as death. People transition based on their own energetic frequency, based on their own vibration. Some people, they go off into the cosmos. Some people reincarnate to learn certain lessons with certain people to help them evolve along their life journey. We must remind ourselves, deep divers, there is no concept of death in nature, because nature is an alchemist. It transforms everything into life again. And that's why I'm just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello? Infinite Waters is immortal, deep divers. Oh yeah. I want everybody to hit that like button right now if you support the real. Share this video, subscribe. Hit that like button right now if you support the real. Share this video, subscribe. You got a question for Infinite Waters? Add me on Instagram at official Ralph Smart. Ask there. Let's breathe. That was special. Let's go, deep divers. Woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Go and check out the #1 best-selling book, Feel Alive by Ralph Smart, on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/thebook, the Bible of becoming your greatest version. Also, go and check out the latest new book, The Book of 1111 Infinite Quotes by Ralph Smart, at ralphsmart.com/thebook, the secret recipe to becoming your greatest version. Go and get the good ass prana shirts, deep divers, for men, women, children, even cats, at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. And if you're a sexy ass model, woo, with a whole lot of heart, you want to model the clothing, well, go and buy some. Deep divers, nerd, no one ever really dies. The reason why is because energy can never be destroyed, only transferred. So don't be afraid of death. Remind yourself, death doesn't exist. All there is life, and it's time that you start living it. One love. Peace. Infinite Waters, diving deep once again. Stay well. Stay healthy. Peace. You. Once again, deep divers, smash that like button right now if you support the real. Hit that like button right now if you support the real. Share this video, subscribe, leave a comment down below of gratitude and appreciation, and let me know how this video inspired you. Because we are here to live and remind ourselves that life is a process. We are visitors. Visitors who are constantly traveling throughout the universe. One love. Peace.